Hello, this is my review of the Acoustic B200 amplifier. It's a 115 combo with a horn. And basically I was thinking about buying one of these, and I looked on YouTube and looked around. I couldn't hardly find any sound samples, so I thought, well, now that I got one, maybe I'll record some stuff myself just so other people out there can maybe take a listen to it, since there's kind of a limited number of places that sell it. The only place that isn't online is Guitar Center. The other two, I think, are Music 123 and Musician's Friend, so the catalogs are online. So here's the amp. I'm about 5'10". You can see about where it hits on me, so it's it's not too big really. Let me kind of spin around to the side. Maybe you can see the thickness of it. It's about about that thick. Maybe about so I can kind of stand. It's about as thick as my hips, and then about that tall. So actually, as far as a combo of the sound it produces, it was actually not too big. And has side-mounted spring-loaded handles to pick it up. Weighs about 65 or 70 pounds. Kind of wish I had a top handle, but oh well. And so one of the things I want to say too is, when I was in Guitar Center, I kind of compared it with a couple other amps, like one of which was a used Fender Bassman 200 watt 115 combo with a horn. So basically almost the same thing as this. And as far as volume output, this thing blew it away. I mean, that Fender was clipping at fairly low volume levels with an active bass, and this thing, you can push it pretty hard and turn it up. It actually had a lot of volume for a 200 watt amp, and I'm surprised at how loud it gets, especially for its size. So let's look at some sounds this thing has. I'm playing an ESP bass neck through. Has some big humbucking pickups in it, active pickups, and right now I got everything set pretty flat. Pickup selector in the middle, and I should say that my my tonal preferences, for the most part, I kind of like maybe more old school sounds, kind of rock and stuff, although I like to slap a little bit and stuff too, but I kind of, my ear likes that old school sound, so that's kind of where I'm coming from. But here's just I'm just going to play some riffs through this amp. Got some rock riffs, maybe like the Chili Peppers. So you guys see it has kind of a nice growl to it. I got the gain about 2/3 of the way up, and that adds a little bit of growl to it, which I kind of like. For right now, it has an option where you can turn the tweeter or the horn either off or on. I've been having it on, so I'm going to turn it off right now. There's a little button on the back here if I can find it. There we go. So here's kind of some stuff on the higher strings with the tweeter off. Now I'm going to turn the tweeter back on. So that's kind of adds a little bit of crispness at the top end, which I actually kind of like, having the tweeter on. Even with the gain up a little bit, I think it sounds pretty good. So, and one of the things, I got most of the tone controls set fairly flat on the bass amp as well, but And I admit I haven't had this amp too long to experiment around with stuff, but one of the knobs on there called the notch knob really affects your tone quite a bit, and I like it. It makes a pretty, you know, a pretty big difference. So right now, I'm gonna reach over there and kind of turn the notch knob one way. This is basically almost all off, or all one way, and here's how the bass sounds like that. I'm going to turn it about basically all the other way. So you gotta hear the differences in there. I mean, 6 different EQs, which makes a big difference. Actually, for a 115, it has a pretty nice slap tone too. I'm gonna up the treble on my bass just a little bit. Give it some slap riffs. So slap your thing, I mean, actually, with the tweeter on and stuff, it sounds pretty good for the slapping and popping. So, I mean, lower that back down there. So I'm just gonna mess around a bit more so you can kind of hear, hear the bass and different stuff. Let's see. Also here on that 5th string, it handles that pretty well too. I mean, you can get down there and it doesn't really fart out. So, all in all, I mean, I like this amp quite a bit. It puts out a surprising amount of volume. I got like a 2 right now. I mean, it would shake this place and get the cops calling on me if I turned it up to what it was capable of. So, that's my review of this amp. Hope you like it.